You're welcome once again, dear viewers. This is the Busesa demonstration farm, where we have a variety of projects, that is piggery, goats, poultry, dairy cattle, fish farming, hash avocado, coffee, and many others. Basically today we are going to look at the component of biosecurity. Now, when we talk of biosecurity, it covers lots of components. One of them is we look at how you provide a safer environment for your agricultural products. When we are talking about biosecurity also, we look at the feeds we buy. How secure are they? Where do you buy them from? What is their quality? What are the components in those feeds? So we need always to be vigilant if we want to have our projects move on better. Now, like here we have started with our entrance. When you are having this kind of farm, or any farm at of any size, you're supposed to ensure that you limit the way people enter into your farm. You have to make sure that the way you are dressed, you are supposed to be putting attires that are for farm. The ones you have not used it from another farm, then you bring them into this other farm. So, like the way you see me, these are my dressings for the farm. When I'm here, I have even an overall. Next time you see me in an overall, please. Now, you have to make sure the attires you put on is not contaminated. Your attire should not be contaminated. What are the contamination sources? Like if you have your shoes and you have been moving around, maybe you step on wastes, poultry droppings from other birds, maybe which are infected. You can bring an infection from the external environment into the farm. So these boots are meant to be used into this farm. When I go outside the farm, I have to remove these boots. Then when I'm coming in, I have to make sure my clothes were well washed, dried, and they are free from infections. So from here, I remove them, then put others which are not meant for the farm. Now, as you enter into the farm, you have seen me step into some solution. That solution is made, we put jik in that water. Jik, we know it is a good disinfectant. So if you came with some of maybe infections, if you have stepped on a waste that has been infected, so by stepping into jik, and you make sure you immerse that boots into that water, it will help to kill those bacteria or microorganisms that you would have come with, or any other diseases. Then there is a need also to wash your hands, because we know our hands tend to get in touch with many things. You can move onto somebody's farm, you hold onto the pole, maybe they have swine fever. Maybe you hold onto the nip of the pig. Maybe you hold onto the containers that are used to feed those pigs. So you find you have carried the infections. That's why you have also to wash your hands thoroughly in order not to transmit the infection. Now, we also have, as you are coming in, you saw a perimeter wall. That perimeter wall you see is also very, very, very important. because one, it is limiting other animals from entering in, it is limiting other birds from entering in, even giving free entrance to other people. So you need to have one entrance and another exit, so that people don't just easily access your farm in order to limit them. Now, that is perimeter wall. Perimeter wall is also part of biosecurity. Now, when you come into these structures, you will find at the piggery level, you're supposed to have also where you have to step in order for you to control this infection. Like you can see this poultry unit, it also has its special biosecurity measures. This trough here is containing also jig. So by using this jig, if I'm not going to remove these boots, then I have to immerse them into this to make sure that I don't enter in with infection. Or if I'm not going to use this, you can see they are ready shoes for this structure. So as you are going in, you have to go in with them. Then when you come out, you leave them here. So this is meant for our staff to be vigilant. It is a principle that you are not supposed to enter with your own shoes, the ones you have come with, into this poultry unit. So this helps us to limit the cross infections, infections got from other farms, infections got from the steppings onto the infected wastes, things of the like. Now, when we are talking about biosecurity, I was talking about the feeds. So they are what we call aflatoxins. They are feeds like the maize bran. Those who use the maize that has stayed for long, those who use the maize that has maybe was still not dry, like this harvest, at the beginning of the harvest, you find they tend to make the maize bran out of that, and then if kept poorly, not dry enough, there is that heat that comes in, and when that heat comes in because of that moisture, it causes kind of molds. You find a mold kind of developing onto those feeds, and those molds, they are the chief source of toxins. So that's why you hear now some people adding in a toxin binder into the feed. They try to reduce the effect of those toxins. So we need to look at the type of thank you. This is the manager. He has at least some sample. We have kept some samples. So when this maize bran makes a cake, this cake, you can see the molds now. Those blackish kind of. Those are the molds. Those are toxins. If your animals or your birds tend to eat them, you'll find it. You see now, this is wet already. This was made when it was wet. You can see. So by keeping them in this form and giving it to your birds or animals, you are introducing in toxins. And these toxins, first of all, they are going to affect the systems of these birds or animals. You find the liver is affected, you find the kidneys are affected, and this makes them not to grow well. That's why we have stunted animals, stunted birds, they don't grow well. Then you find now these birds also can easily develop diseases because these molds they also form of what? Fungal infections. They can cause some fungal infection. You see, even there are insects inside. You see, these are pests inside it, the weevil. They are also entering in. So you find these pests also, as they feed on this, their wastes also contribute on the toxins that we are expect to be getting into our farm products. Now, on the components of when you are making your farm, there are very many biosecurities you have to look at. As we talked about ourselves, you who is working into the farm, we expect you to have all the attires required, the boots, the overall coat, you can have the cap, you can have gloves, depending on the activities you are going to be doing. You are supposed to protect yourself, because we are both protecting the animals or birds, also protecting ourselves. Because if these toxins, you keep on getting into contact with these toxins, you can also be affected. Your health will also be much affected. So that's why we recommend on every farm biosecurity, both on our feeds, on our materials we are using, like these drinkers, the feeders. You have to make sure when you are washing them, wash them thoroughly. Use soap and clean water to make sure that you don't cross-infect these birds or animals. When we are looking at another form of biosecurity, we look at the agricultural inputs, the drugs, what you are using to inject, to treat, the vaccines, these animals. You must get these medicines from a reliable source that is capable of not causing more infections. Now, we have an incinerator. This incinerator is meant to burn those materials we believe that can be burnt, and those which cannot be burnt, we don't allow them go there. We have the degradable and the biodegradable materials, and when we have the plastics, we have paper, those we bring carrying vaccines, and we make sure those ones are burnt safely. Because in the farm, if you go on and litter everything around, it will cause problems. Two, if those vaccines maybe dropped onto a polythene paper and you just leave it, because we know vaccines, they are just attenuated microorganisms. They just reduce on their capacity to cause disease. But if left around and it gets good environment, it can even cause disease. So we are always certain, we always don't want those waste products, the byproducts of the farm inputs, to be littered onto the farm. So we get them and put them into the incinerator, burn them in order to prevent infection.
Go.
Once again, in this section of biosecurity, I thank you viewers for having been attentive in this section, this part of biosecurity. And if you want more information, please check on our contacts, check on our website. More to come. Thank you.